So the check engine light came on my car the other day, right? I took it into the dealership to get it fixed, see what's going on, diagnostic. Found out there was a $1,200 repair had to be done to the car. So today I thought it would be a good time in your journey of financial literacy and financial freedom for me to share with you the 10 reasons, the 10 things that I looked at before I decided to either lease or buy my most recent car. And I'd further like to know from you, do you own your car? Do you lease? What things did you go over to decide whether you are going to lease or buy your last car? Let's go. Greetings, class. This is Chris Haskins with therealestateroundup.com. My mission and ministry is to raise your financial literacy through real estate investing and entrepreneurship. Today, I'm going to kind of get in your mind a little bit and talk about something that doesn't directly affect your bottom line regarding you earning money, right? But the thing of it is, I learned from Valuetainment and hanging out with Patrick Bet-David, we've got offense and defense. Offense, earning. Defense, we have to control the outgo and have a comfortable lifestyle. You know, the whole reason we do this is so we can be comfortable, right? Entrepreneurs. So round up, what I want to share with you today is, let's go over some pros and cons. And this may or may not be for you. You may want to rent. You may want to lease your car. You may want to buy your car. I don't know, because everybody has their reasons for doing things, right? So I'm not going to be judgmental if you buy a car or lease a car. I just want to kind of break down some facts and the overview of what I did to decide leasing was better for me. All right, now who is this for? This is not for somebody that wants to drive a car till the wheels falls off. This ain't for you, right? If you're going to do that, I can't help you because I can't get in your mind and show you where you may or may not be losing money. But if it's somebody that you want to have a fixed, a known, a cost that you control, that's from the philosophy that I live by regarding running my business operation, okay? So lease versus buying, leasing versus buying your car. All right, so this is going to come from a standpoint of an affordable car, not somebody that wants to drive a Maserati or some expensive Tesla, or they want to get into a Lamborghini. This is not who it's for, okay? This is for the entrepreneur that doesn't want to, as Gary Vee says, go out there and buy dumb stuff. You know, he has another word, but we have to consider our budgets when we're buying cars, right? So first of all, the first thing I considered was the product, all right? So my brother, he's a car dealer. He's been a car dealer since the late 90s. Out there in Colorado, he was in Minnesota, now in Colorado Springs. The man kept telling me about leasing cars, and I was always against it because I'm an owner, right? We own stuff. We're real estate guys, right? We buy the house. We don't rent houses, right? So I was of that belief for many, many years. But my brother said, Chris, you know what? All cars go to zero. Generally speaking, I'm not talking about collectibles. All cars go to the value of zero. And that really resonated with me, right? So as I started thinking about it, I'm thinking about all the cars that I've owned over time. I'm like, he's right. Bought a car for this, sold it for that. Bought it for this, sold it for that. You know what? My brother's right. The man knows what he's talking about. And I love to trust and defer to my experts in things. So let's talk about the product. Me being in my 40s, right? In my 20s and 30s didn't matter to me. So I'm not a car guy. You might be a car person. I'm not necessarily a car person, right? My wife is. When we go to functions with her family, people rolling up in Range Rovers, Mercedes, Lexus cars, Acuras, they like their cars. So this may or may not be for them too. So it's not for somebody that wants to have a luxury car. We're talking about an entrepreneur that wants to control the bottom line and have a known. It's best thing to know exactly how much your outgo is going to be. Product, for me, I wanted to lease because right now I drive a 2018 car, right? I drive a 2018. Why do I want a newer car? Because I enjoy the new technology, the gas mileage. I want all the new updates regarding the best gas mileage for me, and the comfort. I remember coming up through the ranks, I had some rough cars. I drove a Jeep Cherokee for many years. Is probably why I have neck and back issues, because the Jeep Cherokee, driving that thing around was just terrible. They put no money into the suspension, into the comfort. They put all the money into the engine. Now it would get me there. I would get where I needed to go, but I would be beat up by the time I got there, round up. So just think about it as you get older. What type of comfort do you want to be in? What product do you want to drive? That's going to be number one. So the products that's comparable to that we're talking about today, my payment for my Hyundai, I drive a Hyundai Santa Fe. See if I can get a shot of that for you and me and the fam. I drive a Santa Fe. I'm being completely transparent with you. I like to put my money into houses, not into cars. Appreciating assets, not into depreciating liabilities, okay? And that's just me. I'm not saying I'm right, wrong, better or worse. That's just me, okay? It has allowed me the comfortable lifestyle that we have today. My payment's roughly $350 plus or minus, right? And a lease term is going to be 36 months. So we're talking about a 36-month time frame here on car ownership. So I know at the end of 3 years, I'm going to spend $12,000, okay? I'm going to spend $12,000. That is fixed. That's a fixed cost for me in my lease 2018 car, all right? And I know what that's going to be. So in this comparison for leasing versus buying, we're going to compare leasing a car and spending $12,000 for 3 years as opposed to buying a car and having to finance it for over 12 years. Over 3 years. Let's look at this amortization table. So what can $12,000 get you today? What can $12,000 get you? All right, let's look at it. Let's look at the AM table. So we got our amortization calculator here. You guys know I love amortization tables, right? So like we said, it's going to be let's just round figures, $12,000 car. We'll scroll down here. The principal we're borrowing, $12,000. Interest rate, 5%. And I know you probably can get it less than that. Terms, 3 years, like we said. Payment type, monthly. Payment amount is going to be roughly $350, just like the lease, right? So this is buying a car, $12,000, $350 payment. So let's scroll down to our AM table. We've got, principal here, $309, interest, $50. So we got interest we're paying down here on this column here. This is going to be principal. Still, you see our total payment is roughly $350, right? So we'll scroll on down, scroll down. See the interest is going down, principal going up. So we're paying roughly in the interest column. If you look at all that, it's roughly another $1,000 in interest. And then in the year, month 36, we've got the car paid off. So we've ended up paying, instead of 12, we pay approximately $13,000 for this car to buy it. So let's look at the numbers here. I just typed in used cars in my town, Hampton, Virginia, the lowest to highest. So we've got $10,000, right? Let's start here. This is a 2012, $10,000. It's got 147,000 miles on it. Another 2012. These are SUVs, right? Because I'm comparing it to my SUV. 122,000 miles. 2010, 150,000 miles. 2014 got 180,000 miles. Here's another 2014, 100,000 plus. 2015, 115,000 miles. We got a Chevrolet Equinox. I've had one of these. These are good cars, but the repairs are going to add up on you. Here's 90,000 miles here out of warranty. Just about 2016 Jeep Compass, 65,000. I don't want you driving in one of these. It's a rough car. Don't do it. Just don't drive one of those. Toyota, 108,000 miles. Now we're getting up to the 12,000, 12,900, 50,000. Another Dodge Journey. Very hard to drive. I've driven those. You don't want to get one of those. Subaru, 104,000 miles. So at the end of the day, 12,000, if you want to get an SUV, you're going to have high miles on it. That was the purpose of this video here. Now, Roundup, stay with me here because this is so important for your defense to control the outgo. Financial literacy, obviously it is about earning, but we have to control what we spend too. Okay, all right. So you see what type of cars you can get, because I have to have an SUV, not have to, but I want an SUV. I like to ride high, I like to be comfortable, I like leg room, and I like third row seats, right? So because we got the kids, we got a lot of stuff we're carrying around, bikes, scooters, all that stuff. And my wife is the one that wants the third row seat, so that's what we got. All right, number 2, drive miles, drive miles. If I'm leasing, you have to compare this for your lifestyle too. Leasing, generally speaking, you're gonna get 12, 15, 18,000 miles with the lease. Now, you can pay a little more. You could pay a little more if you want to get more miles, but that's going to make your monthly payment go up. But you made that decision on leasing. Now, if you own the car, you can drive it as long as you want, as many miles as you want. So that's a pro and a con that you have to consider when you are making your car purchase, okay? Insurance and taxes. Now, believe it or not, whether you own it or leasing it, you have to pay taxes, and insurance. Every 2 times a year, I have to go down to the city courthouse and pay taxes on a car that I don't even own. I don't even own it, right? And insurance, yes, I still pay my, I don't know, 50, 60 bucks a month to insurance. So this is going to be for whether you're owning it or leasing it, okay? It doesn't even matter, all right? So I want to rewind just a little bit. The product, I want a new car, and I can't get all the new technology I want for $12,000. So that's one of the reasons I needed to touch that I wanted to lease. If I want to get a new comfortable riding car that's going to feel good for me, I'm going to be over $30,000, 30, 40,000. And my wife has her luxury car. I can always get into that one if we want to ride in luxury, right? So that's one of the things that we do have. All right, we got 1, 2, 3. Number 4, depreciation, tax deductions. Now, on the lease side, you do not get to depreciate the car. You drive it around. I've been driving the car, right? I've only been doing this for 2 years. You drive the car, but the dealer gets to depreciate it because they still own it, right? Tax deductions, both leasing and buying. You get to deduct all the miles, right? Because well, let me rewind. Consult your accountant. I'm not an accountant on this. If you use your car for all business like we do, or the majority business, you get to write off miles, whether you're leasing or buying. So that one is tax deduction is going to be relevant, but depreciation, if you want to depreciate that, then you need to buy, right? You need to buy your car. Number 5, fees. Now, this is where you're hard to get around, guys. Round up, interest, all right? Where you're buying a car, interest. So if you're going to finance $12,000, if you remember our amortization table, I did 5% interest rate, right? So the interest was about $1,000, right? So fees, you're going to pay interest to finance that car. So you're going to pay another $1,000 on top of the $12,000. And then dealer fees. On a lease, you got all type of processing fees. And I even have to pay a fee to turn the car in. I'm going to have to pay $400 just to turn it in. And when I took it out of the dealership, I had to pay another fee just to take the car. So there are some fees added on here. So let's say that's another $500-600 that you're just going to throw away. But the dealers always win. These guys, they're masters at extracting money out of you, right? So fees, interest if you buy it, leasing fees if you lease it. Okay, so either way, you're going to have fees. Number 6, life changes. This is the big one. Life changes. So if you buy the car, right, you buy it. After 3 years, you own it, because we're doing a 3-year increment here, right? You own it. What if you have another baby? What if somebody leaves the family and they go to college, right? So you might be upsizing your family. You might be downsizing your family. So with the lease, you get a new car every 3 years. If you own it, then you have to resell it to change the product that you want, whether you need to get a bigger car or a smaller car. So that's going to be a pro and a con for somebody that's family style is going to change over time. So life changes, leasing, you know you're going to be able to adapt. Owning, you got to kind of hustle, got to sell that car, get a new one. So remember that. 7, car value, the value of your car. If you own the car roundup, then you're going to be able to maintain some of that worth, right? We'll call it net worth after you pay the car off, the value of that car. Ownership. Leasing ain't no value. Leasing is just a service. Let me tell you how I look at my car, how I get around. First of all, it's just getting me from point A to point B. I want to be in comfort, right? I want good gas mileage. I don't necessarily care how I look. I think I've washed my lease car maybe 2 times personally, because when I take it in for an oil change, they wash it for me. So I'm saving a few dollars there, but I didn't consider that doing it. But the value, owning, you do maintain some value. Leasing, you get no value, right? But the value that I perceive in my mind when I'm leasing, it's just like a commodity, the electrical bill or the water bill or the gas bill, right? If the electricity goes out, I don't have to worry about it. I call the dealer, I call the utility company and they go fix the power wherever it's messed up, right? I don't have to worry about this stuff. So that is the value that's built in for me when I'm leasing. Okay, number 8, we got 2 more here. Repairs, this is, man, I'm getting to the big ones. So stay with me now, Roundup, stay with me. The repairs, this is big. So I was doing some research from Kelley Blue Book. The average repair for a car is going to be roughly $2,000 per year. So if you keep this car for 3 years, that's going to be $6,000, okay? So what we have to do is add in our purchase price plus the repairs, $2,000 per year at $6,000 plus interest. So we're at 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,000. We're almost now at 20,000 owning this car for 3 years, as opposed to $350 a month, 36 months lease, 12,600 round up. Okay. So repairs, what happens if you own it? You have to do all the repairs. All right. That's going to be on the left hand. Leasing roundup. Check this out. Leasing. My brother does all this research on all the new cars and all the warranties that are coming out, right? He finds the best cars that have the best warranties, and he tells me, right? So the car that I have, the Hyundai Santa Fe, has a bumper-to-bumper warranty. A bumper-to-bumper warranty roundup. What does that mean? So I'm going to show you this bill that the reason I even did this video, my check engine light came on. I'm like, damn, what am I going to do? I'm leasing the car. I don't want to spend any more money on this thing. It's a 2018. It's only a few years old. Took it into the dealer, $1,200. They're telling me, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? Well, you don't have to pay anything, Mr. Haskins. Everything's covered, bumper to bumper warranty. I think I had a sensor go bad. Some type of a gasket went bad. Something just out of the ordinary for a 1 or 2 year old car. And when I bought it, it had 600 miles on it, right? So bumper to bumper warranty. If anything breaks, boom, I take it to the dealer, it's done. Remember, just like I was talking about my electricity or my gas that comes in, if the gas doesn't get to the house, I call the gas company, boom, they come fix it. If there's a problem with the water in the area, I call the water company, bam, it's done, it's fixed, right? Something happens to my car, take it in, they fix it, I'm done with it. I don't have to think about it. And we're gonna get to that in a minute, okay? Number nine, maintenance. Now, owning it, you still have to do tire rotation, oil change, air filters, little things like that, right? Leasing it, you still got to do tire rotation, oil filters, air filters, same thing. So maintenance, you still got to maintain the car. You are responsible for taking care of this car, maintaining it. But major repairs, that's going to be on the dealer. Man, I love it. Bumper to bumper warranty. That just sounds sweet, doesn't it? Okay, the biggest one here, roundup, biggest one. I saved the best one for last. Life, energy, and time. Life, energy, and time. Us real estate investors get into big renovations, right? We don't want to make $10,000, $20,000, right? We don't do this business to make small checks. Why? Because when you think about a renovation, it takes us 6 months to do. If you only make $10,000 in 6 months, you're talking about what, $1,200, $1,300, $1,400 a month, $1,500 a month. Not a lot of money in 6 months to make 10 grand. And the amount of times you're going back and forth to the house, interfacing with contractors, dealing with the city inspectors, dealing with the realtor, the lenders, the inspectors. It's just a nightmare, and it drains you. It drains the life energy out of you, and it takes time. A wealthy man told me one time, a long time ago, Chris, you can always make more money. You can never make more time. So what I like to do in my life is put things in place, systems, processes that are going to save me time, but they may cost a little more. So life energy. What I got tired of doing was when I had older cars, I pay them off, say I buy them, pay them off. I just never knew that little thing in the back of my head, the life energy it takes to say, oh man, when am I going to have another breakdown? When am I going to have another repair that's going to cost me $1,000? When am I going to have to take the car into the shop or take it to well, I didn't want to take it to the dealer at the time because the dealer charges more to fix this stuff, right? So we've got local garages that I take the car to. The car might be out for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Life energy, worrying about this stuff. So the biggest reason I don't buy cars today, life energy. Now, if you don't care about the life energy that you're going to worry about going to do a repair, I had a friend of mine call me the other day, Chris, my engine went out. I'm like, you know what, bro? I don't worry about big repairs like that on my car. And I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, good or bad. This is for different people, different strokes for different folks, right? So I don't worry about my engine going bad because if it does, I get it towed to the dealership, they fix it and I'm done. I'm done, roundup, and I want that for you too. But it may not be for you. So I'm not necessarily judging you if you don't lease, but I would love to know more about what you do. What do you consider when you buy or lease your car? What are the things? So time. I don't want to spend any time worrying about where I'm going to take my car for repairs. Now, I know this is a little out of the box when it comes to entrepreneurship and real estate investing, but financial literacy is so important to think about your outgo. How much do you have going out? Your lifestyle, your mental capacity. You cannot put a price on state of mind roundup. So listen, tell me, what do you consider? Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like this content if I've helped you out at all. I want to know, are you leasing, buying? I would love to know, how do you look at buying or leasing your next car? What are the things you go over, okay? So this is Kris Haskins. Like the content, share with any other investors or any other people that are concerned whether they should rent or lease or buy their next car. And I'll see you on the next video, guys. Peace.